All right, let's dive into one of Hinduism's most incredible journeys, the Dwadasha Jyotirlinga Yatra. It's a pilgrimage to 12 sacred Shiva shrines spread all across India. But for anyone trying to do this today, this ancient calling brings up a very modern problem. You could call it a paradox. How do you follow a sacred, divine path when you're also probably using Google Maps to get around? That's what we're going to unpack.
See, right at the start of planning this journey, every single pilgrim comes to a crossroads. You have to make a choice between two very different paths. There's the path of divine energy, which follows this ancient scriptural sequence, and then there's the path of logistical grace, which is a much more modern, practical route. This whole explainer is really a guide to help you understand both of them.
So what exactly is this paradox we're talking about? Well, it's this natural tension, this conflict between a sacred ancient calling and, the real world we live in. How are you supposed to honor a divinely inspired sequence when you're also juggling limited vacation days, a tight budget, and just the sheer challenge of crossing an entire subcontinent? That's the heart of the problem we're exploring here. Okay, so let's start with the first option, the traditional route, the path of divine energy. Now, this is way more than just a checklist of places to visit. It's a journey that's believed to follow a sacred current, a kind of spiritual flow that has its roots in ancient scriptures and has guided devotees for centuries. So here they are, the 12 Jyotirlingas laid out in their proper scriptural order. The journey kicks off at Somnath in the west, but then it immediately jumps way down south to Mallikarjuna, then back up north into the Himalayas for Kedarnath, and it just keeps weaving back and forth across the country. You can see right away, this path is definitely not a straight line on a map. So you might be wondering, where did this specific order even come from? Well, it's not random at all. It comes from the Dwadasha Jyotirlinga Stotram. It's this sacred Sanskrit hymn that's basically a spiritual map. The sequence is believed to trace a flow of divine energy, a path laid out by the great sage Adi Shankaracharya. And that's the whole point. The route was designed for spiritual power, not for geographical convenience. And that brings us to door number 2, the path of logistical grace. Now, it's really important to understand this isn't a lesser path or a shortcut. Just think of it as a journey of modern feasibility. It's an approach that's designed to make this incredible pilgrimage actually achievable for a regular person today without losing sight of the sacred goal. The whole idea here is actually really simple and smart. It's all about geographical clustering. You just group the temples by region. By doing that, you create this logical and super efficient travel plan. It's a brilliant way to use modern strategy to serve an ancient purpose, and it cuts down hugely on the time, the cost, and just the exhaustion of crisscrossing a massive country. And listen, this isn't just some theory or a travel blogger's idea. This is a proven, real-world framework. India's own National Railway Tourism Organization, the IRCTC, uses this exact same model for its super popular Bharat Gaurav pilgrimage trains. They group the shrines into logical circuits, which really validates this as a solid, effective strategy for any modern pilgrim. So what does this journey actually look like on a map? Come on, let's trace the path of logistical grace, and you'll see how it builds this beautiful, flowing coast-to-coast circuit, one cluster at a time. The journey for many starts right here, in what you could call the Western Arc. This gives you a really powerful and efficient start, because you knock out nearly half of the Jyotirlingas in one single continuous trip. You start up in Gujarat with Somnath and Najeshwar. Then you head south into Maharashtra to visit Trimbakeshwar, Bhimashankar, and Grijneshwar. Just like that, 5 shrines, one smooth journey. Okay, so from the west, the path just logically flows inland to the central and northern heart of India. First, you hit the central cluster in Madhya Pradesh, covering Omkareshwar and Mahakaleshwar. Then you head north to Varanasi for the amazing Kashi Vishwanath, and finally, up into the Himalayas for Kedarnath. And here's a really crucial planning note. Kedarnath is usually only open from about May to October, so that's a huge factor you got to plan around. And the final leg of this pilgrimage is this incredible descent through the east and the south. You travel over to Vaidyanath in the east, then you head all the way down to Mallikarjuna and Sri Sailam, and you conclude the entire yatra at the southernmost Jyotirlinga, Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. When you do that, you've completed this sacred loop, this circumambulation of the entire subcontinent. It's pretty amazing. All right,
So we've looked at both paths on their own. Now it's time for the aha moment. Let's put them side by side. This is where you can really clearly see the difference between the flow of divine energy and the flow of modern travel.
This table just makes the whole paradox crystal clear. On the left, you've got the scriptural order, and you can see it jumping all over the map, from Gujarat to Andhra Pradesh and back to Madhya Pradesh. But now look at the right. You see the geographical circuit. It takes those exact same 12 shrines and just rearranges them into logical travel clusters. It's the same destination, the same 12 holy sites, just a different, more linear map to get you there. So the most important thing to get from all this is that the geographical circuit isn't a departure from tradition. It's an adaptation. It's a way of honoring ancient faith with modern wisdom. It just makes the whole journey logistically smoother while keeping the absolute sanctity of visiting all 12 shrines. It makes a profound journey possible through some mindful planning. And at the end of the day, this is what really matters, right? Whether you follow the path of divine energy or the path of logistical grace, the ultimate goal is exactly the same: a journey of profound devotion to connect with all 12 of these sacred pillars of light. The how you get there might be different, but the what and the why are absolutely constant. You know, this leaves us with one final thought. This Pilgrim's paradox isn't just about this one yatra. It's really a question for our time. How do we honor these ancient journeys and this ancient wisdom in a world that moves faster than ever before? It's about finding that balance between scripture and strategy. And maybe finding that balance is a pilgrimage all by itself.